You're listening to the Kirkintilloch Herald, a Q&A review recording service podcast, brought to you by our team of volunteers currently recording from their homes across Scotland. Whether you're listening via the BWBF online players, the telephone app, or our brand new Alexa skill, please phone us on 0141 772 3976 to feedback on what you want us to provide and improve upon. Please also join your family and friends in being our audio ambassadors and share our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram all at Q&A Review. That's at symbol CUEANDREVIEW.
This week's edition of the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald, published on Wednesday the 12th of October 2022. NHS apologises for jab delays. Professor Angela Wallace, Director for Nursing at NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, apologised for the worry caused to people who had to wait for their jabs. An NHS boss has apologised to a local MSP over lengthy queues at Kirkintilloch Town Hall for COVID and flu vaccinations. Strathkelvin and Bearsden MSP, Rona Mackay, raised concerns with the NHS after being inundated with complaints from constituents, many of them elderly, who waited for up to 2.5 hours to receive their booster jags at the end of September. The SNP MSP said, "I was contacted by an extremely high number of constituents, many elderly people waiting in long queues outside. Some were unable to wait as they were too frail." The Kirkintilloch Herald also received complaints from elderly local people forced to queue at the town hall. In a letter to Ms Mackay, Professor Angela Wallace, Director for Nursing at NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, apologised for the worry caused to people who had to wait. She put it down to a lack of vaccinators and people turning up to the town hall without an appointment. She added, "The concerns you have raised have been investigated. I am very sorry that your constituents had such a poor experience at the vaccination clinic in Kirkintilloch. By way of explanation, we have had challenges in securing the necessary staffing for the clinics and are currently seeking to recruit and train more. On some occasions, the situation has been made more difficult by people attending without an appointment or by attending many hours before their scheduled appointment. Rather than turn people away and ask them to make another journey, we have endeavoured to see everyone." Professor Wallace wrote, "Please be assured that more staff are starting. We have anticipated they would have been in place by now and had booked appointments in advance on that basis. On some occasions, we had to ask citizens to leave and make another appointment in order to avoid having a lengthy wait and then not being seen. This is to allow the centres to close as planned. Staff worked with their local authority colleagues to see as many people as possible, to keep the centres open for longer and provided chairs for people. Once again, I am very sorry for the worry this caused." This Week in History, Wednesday the 12th of October 2022, read by Ian. October the 12th, 1915, British nurse Edith Cavell was executed as a spy by German firing squad. On this day last year, scientists discovered 4 subgroups of one of the most common brain tumours and proposed a potential new treatment to tackle the most aggressive type. October the 13th, 1984, John Lowe achieved the first televised 501 score in 9 darts in a major event in the quarter-finals of the World Matchplay Championship in Slough. October the 14th, 1969, the 50p decimal coin was first issued in Britain, replacing the 10 shilling note. On this day last year, more than 1,000 schools marred by poor internet speeds in rural areas were hooked up to hyperfast gigabit broadband. October the 15th, 1976, 2 men from the Ulster Defence Regiment, UDR, were jailed for 35 years in connection with the murders of members of the Miami show band. On this day last year, actor Daniel Kaluuya, England football Marcus Rashford, and television presenter Alex Scott were named in a list of the UK's most influential black people. October the 16th, 1946, the Nuremberg executions began. They included von Ribbentrop, Rosenberg and Stryker. October the 17th, 1956, Calder Hall in Cumbria, Britain's first large-scale atomic energy station, was opened by the Queen.
Motoring madness as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. An offender's motoring madness caused his car to flip over in Larbert. John Aitken, 51, appeared at Falkirk Sheriff Court last Thursday, having pleaded guilty to dangerous driving on the B905 Old Denny Road, Larbert on June the 9th last year. The charge stated Aitken drove at excessive speed, crossed over into the opposing carriageway while negotiating a bend, and came into the path of an oncoming car so that a collision occurred and the car overturned, coming to rest on its roof. Aitken then drove away without stopping. Procurator Fiscal Depute Danielle MacDonald said Aitken did eventually stop his vehicle and then made off into a field. Sheriff Christopher Shade placed Aitken, 39, Cairnview, Kirkintilloch, on a supervised community payback order, and he was also banned from driving for 18 months. Council issues travel survey. How do you get around East Dunbartonshire? What are the factors affecting your transport choices? How can opportunities for sustainable options be improved? Those are some of the questions being asked as part of the new East Dunbartonshire travel survey. Look out for representatives of Research Resource while you're out and about in your local towns and villages between 1st and 15th of October 2022. You can take part online by visiting the survey website before the 23rd of October 2022. The survey, which is held on an annual basis, aims to map emerging transport trends in the area. Responses are then used as part of the evidence base for plans and strategies in East Dunbartonshire, helping to shape proposals for the future. Councillor Paul Ferretti, convener of the Council's Place, Neighbourhood and Corporate Assets Committee, said the survey provides a snapshot of how people get around East Dunbartonshire while offering residents the chance to highlight opportunities and challenges. Look out for representatives of Research Resource in your communities and have a say online. All the responses will help us to gather up-to-date information on how people choose to travel locally and the most important factors for them. The survey is part of the Local Transport Strategy 2020 to 2025. Results from this annual survey help inform the development of transport plans and strategies, including the Council's active travel strategy.
Don't worry, it's a siren test at SGN. Gas network company SGN will conduct a routine test of the warning siren at its liquefied natural gas (LNG) site in Blockern Road, Provan, on Thursday 13th of October. The siren is used to warn people living or working near the site of any potential incidents. It will be tested on Thursday 13th of October 2022 from 10 a.m. The test will last for a maximum duration of 1 hour, during which both warning and all clear sirens will sound several times. We conduct tests every 6 months at all our LNG sites, always notifying residents and businesses by letter beforehand, said a spokesman. This test is a legal requirement as part of the Control of Major Accident Hazards (COMAH) Regulations 2015. SGN spokesperson Wasim Hanif said, "We carry out these tests every 6 months because the safety of the Provan community is really important to us. While the test scheduled at 10 a.m. on Thursday 13th of October is routine and nothing to be concerned about, it's important nearby residents and businesses are familiar with the sound of the siren and know what they need to do in case a real incident ever takes place." You can find more essential information and guidance on our website at sgn.co.uk. That's sgn.co.uk. Further information on the legislation behind the Control of Major Accident Hazards (COMAH) and the requirement for siren testing can be found on the Health and Safety Executive website at hse.gov.uk/pubns/L111.htm. That's www.hse.gov.uk pubs/L111.htm. Read by Alan Todd.
Rent freeze. Ross Greer, the Scottish Greens MSP for the West of Scotland, has welcomed the publication of the Scottish Government's legislation for a national rent freeze and a ban on evictions. If passed, the measures in the bill will provide vital protections for tenants over winter and last until at least March 2023. The bill will help tenants across East Dunbartonshire where the average monthly rent is £721, which is an increase of 24% since 2010. Ross Greer, the Scottish Green MSP for West Scotland, said, "There are few things as important to us as where we live, but with soaring inflation and skyrocketing bills, these are desperate times for tenants all across Scotland. That is why the rent freeze and eviction ban are so crucial. They will provide stability and support for households." Your Kirky applauded by MSP. Kirkintilloch has been shortlisted in the coveted SURF Awards for 2022 for the most improved place in Scotland. And MSP Rona Mackay has praised the vital work of local community initiative Your Kirky in helping to make sure this happens. SURF, Scotland's Regeneration Forum, showcases community success and regeneration challenges across Scotland. According to SURF, the Your Kirky Community Initiative, along with the Millennium Link, Kirkintilloch's Regeneration Initiative and Kirkintilloch Master Planning, have played a significant role in improving Kirkintilloch's town centre, its identity and its economic viability.
NHS warns of delays. NHS Greater Glasgow has issued a strong appeal to the public to consider 3 alternative pathways before heading to A&E with an urgent health concern. The Health Board made the appeal as NHS GGC faces significant pressure at the front door to hospitals. Patients with urgent but non-life-threatening health concerns are being urged to consider one of the following alternatives before coming to A&E. Visit NHS Inform or speak to a pharmacist. No appointment is necessary, and pharmacies can support with a vast range of minor ailments. The NHS Inform website also has a symptom checker and a range of health tips to manage injuries and illnesses at home. Call your GP. Your GP practice team can provide treatment, advice and referrals for any urgent health concern which isn't life-threatening and can be accessed over the phone, through video or face-to-face. Call NHS 24 on 111. NHS 24 can provide advice on a full range of injuries and illnesses, as well as referring you to the NHS GGC's virtual A&E, which gives you access to telephone and video emergency care consultations from the comfort of home. Only after exploring these steps should patients consider going to a physical A&E. Anyone with life-threatening or very urgent health concerns should always call 999 or go straight to your nearest A&E as normal. The Health Board is also asking families to support NHS staff in helping discharged patients come to home at the earliest time possible. If a loved one is scheduled to be discharged, families should speak to the ward to arrange pick-up before noon the same day. Dr Scott Davidson, Deputy Medical Director for Acute Services at NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, said, "Up and down the country, healthcare systems are facing unprecedented challenges. Within NHS GGC, we have the biggest and busiest A&Es and assessment units in Scotland, and our staff are working tirelessly to treat our patients as quickly as possible. However, despite this, pressure at A&Es is at an all-time high. To support our frontline members of staff, we are urging people to avoid A&E where possible. It's incredibly busy, and you may well have to face an extremely long wait."
Council to take steps. Some of East Dunbartonshire's busiest rural roads will be the focus of a concentrated campaign of litter removal during a fortnight of action. In a bid to tackle the unsightly issue of roadside litter, East Dunbartonshire Council has signed up to the cross-border roadside litter campaign being coordinated by environmental charity Keep Scotland Beautiful and involving neighbouring councils. Deep cleans, tackling litter, fly tipping and other issues such as graffiti are taking place across East Dunbartonshire starting Monday, 3rd of October. Council operatives will be working along the following roads during the fortnight-long campaign: Beauclair Road, October 9th, Chester Road, Bearsden, October 16th, Kilsyth Road, October 6th and 7th, Kirkintilloch Road in Kirkintilloch, October 3rd to 6th, Peel Glen Road, Bearsden, October 23rd, and Twecker Road, Kirkintilloch, October 3rd to 5th. As this type of refuse collection can be dangerous and costly, the campaign is emphasising that prevention is the best solution. Motorists will be urged to give their litter a lift and take it home. Councillor Paul Ferretti, convener of the Council's Place, Neighbourhood and Corporate Assets Committee, said, "We are happy to be working in partnership with Keep Scotland Beautiful and our neighbouring local authorities to tackle this persistent and unsightly issue. Accessing this litter can be very difficult and dangerous for our crews, but it is important to clean it up as the rubbish is not only unattractive, it poses a danger to road users. We hope that people will understand the damage that this behaviour does and stop expecting others to risk their lives in order to clean up their rubbish. The solution really is simple. Keep your litter in the vehicle until you find the next suitable bin. It is what most people do." Latest data from the charity highlights that 94% of high traffic roadsides are blighted by litter, with 50 tonnes abandoned on Scotland's roadsides each month, and an overwhelming 91% of adults living in Scotland now agree that roadside litter creates a negative impression of Scotland. Barry Fisher, CEO of Keep Scotland Beautiful, said, "Roadside litter, like many antisocial behaviours, doesn't stop at council boundaries, which is why we are pleased to be working with East Dunbartonshire to coordinate this fortnight of action. This collaboration, the proposed new National Litter and Fly Tipping Strategy, and proposed changes in the Circular Economy Bill that will see owners of a vehicle issued with a fine if litter is seen being thrown from it, a change which 88% agreed with should happen, will help keep Scotland beautiful." Circular Economy Minister Lorna Slater said, "No single organisation can tackle the issue of roadside litter. Collaboration and partnership are critical, so it's great to see local authorities working together across boundaries to take this problem on." Later this year, the Scottish Government will publish a national litter and fly tipping strategy, setting out a range of actions to tackle this problem behaviour. Ultimately, the best way to fix litter is to not drop it in the first place.
EDC is supporting Challenge Poverty. East Dunbartonshire Council is pledging its support to Challenge Poverty Week and raising awareness of the support available for any resident facing financial challenges. Challenge Poverty Week is an annual awareness campaign organised by the Poverty Alliance. Its aim is to highlight that poverty is a serious problem in Scotland and bring people and organisations together to call for a more just society. The week is an opportunity to highlight the information, advice and support that is available locally, and to coincide with this, the Council has published a web page with information on various funding, support and advice that is available throughout East Dunbartonshire. Furthermore, the Council's social media channels will focus on different themes, signposting to organisations offering help and assistance. Challenge Poverty Week comes just 10 days after the Council agreed an additional £2.1 million in a wide-ranging support package to address the current cost of living crisis. The full £2.1 million package will deliver help in a number of ways, which includes an additional £200 winter support payment for each eligible child, additional farm food vouchers to support those families in extreme short-term need with food provision, an additional £210,000 to address the projected overspend for the Scottish Welfare Fund as a result of unprecedented demand, energy vouchers for council tenants in homelessness cases to help with energy bills, an allocation of £500,000 to East Dunbartonshire Leisure and Culture Trust, EDLCT, to deliver a programme of free gym and swim access. In addition to these key areas of spend, further funding will be provided to other organisations involved in cost of living support. Council leader Gordon Lowe said, "Our communities are facing a cost of living crisis, which means more people will find themselves in poverty. Our package of support reinforces our commitment to provide practical assistance to our hard-pressed residents and to help alleviate some of the financial burden. Any resident who is worried can find invaluable information on our website.
Town Survey. East Dunbartonshire Council is encouraging residents and visitors to Lennoxtown to have their say on the future of the village's Main Street. The Lennoxtown Main Street Improvement Project began in 2019 with initial consultation that resulted in concept designs being completed and shared with the public. Unfortunately, the work then had to be put on hold due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, with the project resuming, the Council feels it is only right to consult the public again, given the length of time that has elapsed and the events that have occurred since then. Those who live, work, or even just visit Lennoxtown can share their views via an online survey, which will be available between the 3rd to the 31st of October 2022 at https://forward/share/798DDF666F484B9OF741D4CO7DD73A.
Extra bus on the 15. Local MSP Ross Greer has hailed further success of the Scottish Greens free bus travel rollout for under 22s after it emerged that a local bus route, previously under threat due to low passenger numbers, is now running an extra service to cope with increased demand. Ross had previously been contacted by constituents who reported that the number 15 bus, which leaves Milngavie at 7:35am, had recently been regularly running at capacity and was unable to pick up passengers at a number of stops. After being contacted by Ross, operator Glasgow City Bus confirmed that an extra bus has been added to this time in order to meet the extra demand, which has been driven in large part by young people using their free bus pass. The 15 route links Milngavie and Bearsden with Gartnavel Hospital, the West End and City Centre. It is popular with school, college and university students, many of whom have also benefited from free bus travel for under 22s, which was introduced this January thanks to the Scottish Greens. Over 21 million journeys have already been taken by young people across Scotland under the scheme, including by the more than 8,300 young people in East Dunbartonshire who had their cards at the last count. The 15 service was significantly reduced and was actually under threat as recently as 2019, when Ross and other local councillors successfully campaigned to bring back the full hourly service and run it as far as the city centre. Ross commented, "This is a fantastic demonstration of the success of the Scottish Greens free bus travel scheme. Just 3 years ago, the local number 15 service was under serious threat, and now early in the morning buses are so full that City Bus are adding extra services in order to meet demand. I hope this growth in passenger numbers continues to the point where City Bus can be persuaded to run more than one service an hour. Bus routes like the number 15 service in East Dunbartonshire are vital to helping people access everything from education to their hospital appointments, to tackle the climate emergency, and to support local businesses."
Roadworks set to take place. A number of roadworks are due to be carried out across East Dunbartonshire in the coming weeks. Works are to be carried out on Parkburn Bridge on Kirkintilloch Road at its junction with Campsie View, Kirkintilloch. To ensure safety, temporary two-way traffic lights in place from Thursday the 6th of October for approximately 2 months. Lights will be manually controlled between 7am and 7pm each day. BT will be carrying out works on Stockymuir Road at Tambowie Cottages, Craigton. To ensure safety, temporary two-way traffic lights will be in place from 9:30am until 3:30pm on Wednesday the 12th of October. The temporary lights will be manually controlled at all times. Beauclair Road, Bearsden will be closed from Rannoch Drive to the East Dunbartonshire Glasgow City Council boundary from 9am to 4pm on Sunday the 9th of October to allow for the safe removal of litter from verges as part of the cross-border roadside litter campaign. Diversions will be signposted.
Year of Stories 2022. Trail to Tales of Witchcraft. Report by Julie Curry. Tales of Witchcraft are being marked during the Year of Stories 2022 with a new witch trail. Created by Visit Scotland, visitors are being invited to discover some dark history, truly magical places, and find ways to live like a modern day witch through the new trail and map. Witches and witchcraft make for a formative chapter in the story of Scotland, covering history, women's rights, superstition, and the supernatural. There are numerous local tales about witches and witchcraft based in both fact and legend. A key focus for Scotland's Year of Stories is highlighting these stories from communities passed down through the generations. The trail and map highlight a variety of these locations and attractions, all with links to themes associated with witchcraft, including a love of nature and modern takes on the lore. They can be enjoyed year-round as part of a longer holiday or on a day trip. Kat Lever, Visit Scotland Head of Brand and Content, said, "It is important to showcase tales of all kinds and highlight some of the truly unique experiences on offer in Scotland. This new witch trail and map does exactly this. Pre-pandemic, the popularity of attractions thought to be associated with the supernatural and darker aspects of Scotland's history were on the rise. Highlighting the fun, educational and engaging experiences like those features in the map will inspire people to discover Scotland's rich and diverse stories for themselves. Experiences on the map include Killarney Standing Stones, Isle of Lewis. Standing for over 5,000 years, the Killarney Standing Stones have a rich culture of magical folklore and are also thought to have inspired Outlander's magical Craig na Dun. The Witchery by the Castle, Edinburgh. Located in an impressive 16th century building at the gates of Edinburgh Castle, this unique and atmospheric hotel and restaurant takes its name from the hundreds of women and men burned at the stake as witches in Castle Hill, which also features the Witch's Well, a drinking fountain dedicated to those who lost their lives after being accused of witchcraft. East Nook Seaweed, Fife. Seaweed is believed to have been used by local wise women and healers of time gone by. East Nook Seaweed offers various hands-on workshops in the coastal locations throughout Fife that highlight the healing properties and nutritional value of this sea vegetable. Abbotsford House, Melrose. The home of 19th century novelist and poet Sir Walter Scott, boasts a world-famous collection of rare books on witchcraft, demonology and superstitions. Visitors to this stunning library can see his treasured Witch's Corner, overlooking the River Tweed. The downloadable guide features 15 locations and will be hosted on visitscotland.com alongside a blog taking a deeper dive on the subject. A Year of Stories. Year of Stories 2022 celebrates stories inspired by, written or created in Scotland. This year, you can look forward to events by community groups, museums, heritage sites and other visitor attractions, with storytelling always at the heart of it. You'll also have the chance to experience the diversity of stories that Scotland has inspired by visiting the real-life locations from your favourite books, films and songs. From local legends to tales of the natural world, Scotland's Year of Stories is sure to capture your imagination. For more information, visit www.visitscotland.com/about/themed-years/stories. Don't risk your life to save cash on energy costs. Report by Julie Curry. The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service, SFRS, is urging people to stay fire safe as the winter turns colder and households look to keep warm and cut energy bills. Due to a rise in the cost of living, it is anticipated that people may look at an alternative way of heating and lighting their homes. SFRS fears that changing behaviours could put households at risk of accidental fires and carbon monoxide poisoning. To raise awareness to help keep people safe, SFRS and other fire and rescue services in the UK are backing the National Fire Chiefs Council's Stay Fire Safe campaign. This aims to provide advice regarding the hazards associated with and guidance for the safe use of portable heaters, electric blankets, wood-burning stoves and candles, as well as highlighting chimney safety, a potential fire risk if they have not been cleaned or properly maintained. Deputy Assistant Chief Officer Alistair Perry, SFRS Head of Prevention and Protection, said, "Fuel poverty and rises in the cost of living are a real concern as we anticipate seeing a change in behaviours at home as people try to cope. We want to ensure that people are aware of the potential dangers and keep themselves and their loved ones safe at home. people could inadvertently be putting themselves at risk from fire and the deadly effects of carbon monoxide poisoning. DACO Perry is asking people to exercise caution and consider key steps to stay safe. He added, "We remind people not to use camping stoves or barbecues indoors, to use the correct fuels for wood-burning stoves and open fires, and if using candles, to use these safely or use LED lights or torches. Also be aware of potentially fatal carbon monoxide poisoning if using old or unfamiliar heaters. We also remind people of our Make the Call campaign and to look out for others. If you know someone who's over 50 and smokes and who has either mobility issues or used medical oxygen or lives alone, please arrange a home fire safety visit on their behalf. If you know someone who needs a home fire safety visit, get in touch by calling 0800 0731 999 or text FIRE to 80800.
Staff on the front line. Retail trade union USDAW has welcomed legislation to improve public safety by banning the supply of fireworks to under 18s in Scotland coming into force on October the 10th. However, the union is also urging support for shop workers who have to enforce the law, with age-restricted sales accounting for nearly 1/5 of incidents of violence, threats and abuse. The Protection of Workers, Retail and Age-Restricted Goods and Services Scotland Act 2021 provides a new offence of assaulting, threatening or abusing a shop worker. Tracy Gilbert, USDAW Regional Officer for Scotland, said, "We still need better coordination to ensure retail employers, police and the courts work together to make stores safer and give staff the support they need, particularly when they are on the front line of enforcing the law."
Time to put the brake on our road death toll. New figures released by the government reveal that 1,760 people were killed or seriously injured on roads in Scotland last year. The figures show a post-pandemic increase in road deaths and injuries across Britain in 2021 compared with 2020. 1,666 people were killed or injured on Scotland's roads last year. The United Nations target is a reduction of 50% in deaths and serious injuries on roads by 2030. Casualty reduction in Britain in recent years has been occurring at a slower rate than other European nations and has now increased. To highlight the preventable deaths and injuries on UK roads, Brake launches Road Safety Week, 14th to 20th November. The charity is appealing for schools, communities and employers to get involved and shout out for safer roads by signing up for a free Road Safety Week action pack. The pack gives tips and advice on shouting out for road safety. It also gives ideas about how to fundraise for Brake's National Road Victim Service, which supports 1,000 bereaved and catastrophically injured road victims a year who are facing the shock and devastation of the death or terrible injury of a loved one. Mary Williams, OBE, Chief Executive of Brake, the road safety charity which runs the National Road Victim Service, caring for bereaved and seriously injured road victim families, said, "The carnage on roads that take lives indiscriminately devastates families and causes appalling injuries must end. No death or serious injury on roads is acceptable. We urge everyone to sign up to take part in Road Safety Week in November to raise awareness of the cause, shout out for safety on our streets, and get fundraising for Brake and our vital help for road crash victims' families." Brake is a national road safety charity founded in 1995 that exists to stop deaths, serious injuries and pollution on roads and to care for families bereaved and injured in road crashes. It campaigns for safe and healthy roads through seeking government policies and investment to end the carnage, and through projects that help communities, schools and employers promote safe streets locally. Brake also delivers Road Safety Week, the UK's biggest safety campaign. To sign up, visit www.brake.org.uk/RSW. That's www.brake.org.uk/RSW.
Family announcements. Deaths. Bracken Isabel. Suddenly at Glasgow Royal Infirmary on Wednesday, October 5th, 2022. Isabel, beloved wife of George, much-loved sister of Margaret, John and Anne, and loving aunt and great-aunt. Funeral service to take place on Tuesday, October 18th, 2022, at Daldowie Crematorium, Broom House. Arriving at 11:30 a.m. No flowers, please. Donations will be gratefully received after the service in aid of the British Heart Foundation. Fleming, Walter. Peacefully at Springvale Care Home, Lennoxtown, on Sunday, October 2nd, 2022. Walter, beloved husband of Grace, loving father to Walter, Janice and Helen, father-in-law to Craig, and devoted papa to all his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Funeral service to take place at Daldowie Crematorium, Broom House, on October 13th, 2022, at 12 noon. Family flowers only, please. There will be a retiral collection in favour of Bernardo's. Gallagher, Irene. Peacefully at Glasgow Royal Infirmary on Friday, September 30th, 2022. A much-loved wife of the late Patrick, an adored mum of Ramona and John, sister, gran, great-gran and friend to many. Funeral service will take place on Friday, October 14th, 2022 at Co-op Funeral Care, Kirkintilloch for 12:45 p.m. Thereafter to Old Isle Cemetery for 1:15 p.m. Will be sadly missed by all. Special thanks to Dr. McKay and all the staff at the South Bank Surgery for their wonderful care and support. MacDonald, Norman Roger. After a long illness, peacefully at Glasgow Royal Infirmary on Monday, September 26th, 2022. Norman, beloved husband of Liz, loving dad of Deborah, Valerie, Linda and George, adoring grandpa of Michelle, Neve, David, Joanne, Connor and the late Milo, and brother of Eric. Funeral service to be held at Glasgow Crematorium, Maryhill, G23 5AA, on Thursday, October 13th at 12 noon, to which all family and friends are welcome. Family flowers only, please. Wallace, Margaret Keir Kerr. Peacefully at home on September 24th, 2022. Beloved wife of the late James, a much-loved mum of Drew and Kenneth, and mother-in-law to Frances, sister of Edward, an adored gran of Christine, Shona, Grace and John. Funeral service will take place on Thursday, October 13th, 2022, at Hillhead Parish Church, Kirkintilloch for 10 a.m. Thereafter to Glasgow Crematorium, Maryhill for 11:15 a.m. Thereafter at the Broadcroft Hotel, Kirkintilloch. Family flowers only, donations if desired to cancer research. Wood, Robert. Peacefully in Glasgow Royal Infirmary on Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. Robert, much-loved husband of the late Isabel, dad of Graham, Alison and Judith, loved grandpa of Jennifer, Andrew, Ewan, Alexander and Penelope. Funeral service at Daldowie Crematorium on Wednesday, October 12th, West Chapel at 11:45 a.m. Family flowers only.
Consultation begins on our new national park. Report by Julie Curry. The next stage of the Scottish Government's commitment to establish at least one new national park by spring 2026 has been launched. The National Park Stakeholder Consultation, led by Nature Scot, is inviting contributions which will help define how a new national park will protect and restore nature, tackle climate change, and promote sustainable land use. It follows on from the Future for National Parks in Scotland online discussion launched earlier this year by the Scottish Government. It is nearly 20 years since the first two national parks were created in Scotland. Loch Lomond in the Trossachs National Park was established in 2002, and Cairngorms National Park was established in 2003. Nature Scot has already established a national stakeholder advisory group to bring together a wide range of organisations and sectors with an interest in achieving this goal. Now further key stakeholder and interest groups from across Scotland's local authorities, visitor destination groups, conservation, planning and educational bodies are being invited to contribute to the new National Park consultation about the role of Scotland's national parks and the criteria for selecting a new one. Biodiversity Minister Lorna Slater said, "Our national parks do essential work to restore our natural environment, tackle the climate crisis, help manage facilities for visitors, promote responsible access, and develop sustainable communities. That is why we are committed to establish at least one new national park in Scotland by the end of this parliamentary session in 2026. Earlier this year, I launched a national discussion to understand what the public value most about our national parks and to seek views on what they should be delivering for Scotland, its communities and its visitors. For the next stage in the process, Nature Scot will lead an online public consultation and host stakeholder meetings to give everyone the opportunity to feed in their views and ideas. Nature Scot will also work with partners to engage young people, ethnic minorities, and people with disabilities, including through bespoke surveys and workshops. The consultation will lead to a transparent means of assessing candidate national parks and will inform our strategy for supporting our park to do more for local communities, visitors and nature. Francesca Owoska, Nature Scot's Chief Executive, said, "Our ambition for a new national park for Scotland is that it will drive the transformation needed to tackle the twin crises of biodiversity loss and climate change, helping to halt nature loss by 2030 and restore nature on a landscape scale by 2045. National parks are special places valued by the nation. It is exciting to imagine the potential for another beautiful area in Scotland. At this stage, Nature Scot is not seeking views in specific areas for new national parks, but opportunities for this will follow during the next phase in 2023. The National Park Stakeholder Consultation is open for contributions until November the 30th at www.nature.scot. To request a paper copy, email nationalparkcommission@nature.scot. Opinion. Let's talk. Kirkintilloch Herald letters page, date Wednesday the 12th of October. The callous cruelty of this Tory government. Sir, now we see the Tories in their true colours. The daft notion that they could be one nation party is exposed by the programme of the Truss government. The UK has the second highest income inequality of all the OECD countries, and the Truss response is to reduce taxes for the rich and clamp down on benefits rules. At the same time, its economic policies will increase the cost of food and raise mortgage payments to levels that will see a flood of repossessions and a surge in homelessness. The UK government demonstrates a combination of staggering incompetence and callous cruelty. We should not be surprised. They are, after all, Tories. Surely decent people in our constituency cannot vote for the Tory candidates in future. Yours, etc., David Curry. Address supplied. Blackouts possible in energy-rich Scotland? Sir, Nicola Sturgeon has frequently stated Scotland is self-sufficient in energy and praised the provision of renewables in the country. Why, then, is she even mentioning the possibility of blackouts this winter? If her claims are correct, then this cannot happen. If, however, her claims are somewhat nuanced, then anything is possible. Ms. Sturgeon is displaying her lack of transparency whilst claiming the opposite. Yours, etc., Gerald Edwards. Address supplied. Implosion imminent. Sir, in an inexplicable act of self-destruction, Liz Truss targets every opposition party, every opposing voter, every media outlet, apart from certain tabloid newspapers, obviously, and even a fair section of her own parliamentary party, as the Anti-Growth Coalition. Clearly she is unaware all political parties want to grow the economy, but all would do it in a more planned, compassionate and much less ham-fisted way. This will be her Gerald Ratner moment, something she'll be identified with for the rest of her soon-to-be imploding career. Yours, etc., D. Mitchell. by email. Deserve to lose marbles? Sir, the Elgin marbles have become a cause célèbre amongst the willfully ignorant, and it's long overdue that the record was set straight. The 7th Earl of Elgin, as British ambassador to the Ottoman Empire, bought the marbles from Turkish officials at the Parthenon, then used as an armoury, appalled by Greeks destroying falling parts of the frieze for sheep walls, or grinding them down for lime, and helpless to stop them due to Sultan Selim III's indifference towards the ancient artefacts of the cultures under his empire's subjugation. Elgin's actions, and those of the Turks, however dubious, have preserved those wonders for the world to enjoy in the historical sanctuary of the British Museum for free. Like all who sell their birthright for a mess of pottage, Greece has no right to heritage it treated with so much contempt. Let it have the copies it demands others display in place of their treasures. Yours, etc., Mark Boyle, by email. COVID proves shambles. Sir, what is it about this SNP government that whatever it touches ends in chaos, confusion and consternation? What causes a highly respected judge and 4 hugely experienced and respected legal experts to resign from a Scottish COVID public inquiry before it has even begun? Set aside the fact that the SNP government yet again wanted to go it alone rather than be involved with a UK-wide inquiry that has already begun for England and Wales, and we have an utter and embarrassing shambles causing huge emotional turmoil to those that lost loved ones during the pandemic. One can only draw the conclusion that the legal experts, quoting professional reasons for their resignations, were uncomfortable with interference from the brief for the inquiry dictated by the Scottish Government. The whole episode has the odour of dictatorial and self-interested government trying to cover up certain issues and influence the inquiry. The SNP has history on inquiries, and the public are again paying the price whilst being taken for fools. Yours, etc., Richard Allison. Address supplied.
Small White wins the Count top spot. Butterfly Conservation has released data on the number of butterflies and someday flying moths recorded in Scotland during this year's Big Butterfly Count. The top 5 butterfly species in Scotland during the count from July 15th to August 7th were small white, meadow brown, large white, ringlet and peacock. Another winner in 2022 was the comma, which saw an increase of 187% in Scotland compared with last year. This species has a flexible life cycle which enables it to capitalise on favourable weather conditions, which could account for its particular success this year. The comma only recolonised Scotland in the early 2000s, having been absent for about 130 years, but has expanded its range rapidly since then. Peacock, red admiral and small tortoiseshell also all seem to have fared well in Scotland this summer and bucked the UK trend of decline. This is welcome news as all 3 species showed declines here last year. However, overall, the trend for butterflies remains a concerning one, with the results of the Big Butterfly Count 2022 showing an average of just under 7 butterflies seen per count. While this is a slight increase on last year, it still remains low compared with many previous years in the 13-year history of the Citizen Science Project. Neither of the 2 species of blue butterfly included in the Big Butterfly Count, the holly blue and the common blue, did well in Scotland this year, despite significant increases in other parts of the UK, with a decline of 35% for the holly blue and 13% for common blue. The Scotch Argus was added to the species list for the Big Butterfly Count in Scotland for the first time last year. Unfortunately, it wasn't good news for the species, which declined 38% on 2021 levels. Dr. Richard Fox, Butterfly Conservation Head of Science, said, "We might have expected this summer to have been a much better one for butterflies given the good weather experienced in many parts of Scotland. The fact that more butterflies weren't seen is concerning, and it's clear that much more needs to be done to protect and restore habitats to aid nature's recovery. The sun could shine for days on end, but we still won't see more butterflies unless there is a habitat there for them to thrive in." A total of 3,633 butterfly counts were carried out in Scotland during the event, while across the UK as a whole, participants spent a combined total of over 2.5 years counting butterflies in their gardens, local parks, and in the countryside. Dr. Zoe Randell, Butterfly Conservation Senior Surveys Officer, said, "The vast majority of counts are done in gardens, which makes this data especially valuable because this type of habitat is underrepresented in many of our other schemes. We can create habitat for butterflies, such as the holly blue and comma in our gardens, by cultivating holly and flowering ivy for the former and growing hop, elms and nettles for the latter. Gardens that are wildlife friendly can provide vital habitat for these insects, allowing them space to feed, breed and shelter. Next year's count is July 14th to August 6th. Visit www.butterfly-conservation.org. That's www.butterfly-conservation.org.
Drinks Deposit Scheme Guidance. Guidance has been published by the Scottish Environment Protection Agency, SEPA, to ensure drinks producers are ready when registration for Scotland's Deposit Return Scheme opens in 12 weeks. If businesses make or import drinks for sale to consumers in Scotland, their producer obligations need to be complied with, including registering to be part of the scheme. Part of the new guidance brings together a range of resources to help producers understand if their drinks are covered by the scheme and the next steps they need to take. Drinks producers and importers won't be able to sell their drinks to consumers in Scotland unless they have registered. This can be done directly with SEPA or through the scheme administrator, Circularity Scotland. For those choosing to register directly with SEPA, there is support to write an operation plan needed as part of their application. SEPA will regulate the scheme and is responsible for registration, which opens on January the 1st, 2023. Kath McDowell, SEPA's scheme manager, said, "It is important businesses prepare for DRS now. We're here to help, and our latest guidance set out what producers need to prepare. If you're a drinks producer and you want to sell your products to consumers in Scotland, you will need to be registered with SEPA to be part of the scheme. If you're not registered by March the 1st, 2023, then you might not be able to sell your drinks in Scotland after August 2023 when the scheme goes live. Producers can register with SEPA from January the 1st at sepa.org.uk/DRS. That's sepa.org.uk/DRS. Help ensure feline friends are chipped. Cats Protection has urged Scottish pet lovers to join its campaign for compulsory microchipping of pet cats, a measure which is already in place for dogs. The charity says compulsory microchipping would be a major step forward in feline welfare in Scotland, yet there are currently no plans for it to be introduced. This is in contrast with England, where the measure is due to become law. Scottish animal lovers are now being asked to join the charity's campaign by using an online form on its website to contact their MSP to ask they support the move. Alice Palumbo, Cats Protection's Advocacy and Government Relations Officer for Scotland, said, "Microchipping is an important part of responsible pet ownership and is already compulsory for dogs in Scotland. It is also due to become compulsory for pet cats in England, so we're keen to make sure cats in Scotland are not left behind. Compulsory microchipping of pet cats would ensure more cats can be reunited with their owners if they are lost or missing. It also helps to identify cats which have sadly died in road accidents and helps to reduce the pressure on animal charities which may find it impossible to chase the owner of an unmicrochipped stray or lost cat despite their best efforts. We're asking for the help of cat lovers in Scotland to send a message to MSPs that cats deserve the same level of protection as their canine counterparts. Animal lovers can fill in a simple form on Cat Protection's website, which will send an email to their local MSP telling them to support compulsory microchipping of pet cats. To find out more, please visit www.cats.org.uk/ScotChipping. TARDIS opens to Doctor Delights. Tickets for Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder at the National Museum of Scotland have now gone on sale. Huge demand is expected for the new exhibition, which runs from December the 9th to May the 1st next year. It will explore the science behind the global hit television series Doctor Who and give fans a chance to experience the Doctor's adventures from a scientific perspective. The TARDIS is just one of a host of real props from the series that will feature in the exhibition. Visitors will also come face to face with the Doctor's most famous foes in the Monster Vault, including Cybermen, Weeping Angels and Daleks. Produced by leading design expert Sonar International, under license from BBC Studios, this exhibition invites fans of all ages to explore the role science has played in the world's longest running action-adventure show. 8 zones will cover a diverse selection of exciting scientific topics, while drawing in content from across the full canon of Doctor Who. A range of hands-on immersive experiences and interactive features take visitors on a journey through cosmic curiosities, a TARDIS tech room, and the science behind time travel, asking whether it really is possible. Actor, director and author Mark Gatiss will narrate the exhibition. He said, "So many people who have gone on to work in science have had their interest piqued by watching Doctor Who. One of the amazing things about the show is its ability to make us wonder." The exhibition premiered at National Museums Liverpool's World Museum, where it will run until October the 30th. Alison Cromarty, NMS Head of Exhibitions, said, "We are delighted to announce that tickets are now on sale. We know visitors of all ages will be keen to be among the first in Scotland to experience Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder, and are tremendously excited that the countdown is now on. To date, 3 Scots have played the Doctor: Sylvester McCoy, David Tennant and Peter Capaldi, the 7th, 10th and 12th respectively, with a 4th, Nkuti Gatwa, recently announced. Tickets for the exhibition can be booked at www.nms.ac.uk/Doctor Who. District News, Churches, from the Kirkintilloch Herald, date Wednesday, the 12th of August 2022. Kirkintilloch, Home Church, Scotland, Lammermoor Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 2AB. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. Psalm 40 verse 1. One church, home church, 4 locations, Kirkintilloch, Glasgow, Stornoway and online. A church for all ages. 9:30 AM, communion. 10 AM, prayer time. 10:30 AM, fellowship, tea and coffee available. 11 AM, worship service in Children's Church, followed by tea and coffee. The Sunday evening service is in Renfield Centre, Bath Street, Glasgow, at 7 PM. Minibus leaves Home Church at 6:30 PM. Wednesdays at 7:15 PM is a fellowship night, including a time of prayer and Bible study. Bible study in Glasgow at Renfield Centre on Wednesday at 7:30 PM. Alpha is on Thursdays at 6:30 PM in Kirkintilloch. Youth meeting Fridays at 7:30 PM for Youth Alpha and Fellowship. Our winter kitchen will run every Saturday at 6 PM. See Facebook and Instagram for up-to-date information for October. St David's Memorial Park Church. At St David's Memorial Park Church, our morning service on October the 16th will be at our usual time of 10:30 AM and will be led by our Church of Scotland reader, John Nicholson. During our morning worship, school-aged children will have the opportunity to go through to our halls for their own time of fun and learning with jam. All are welcome to attend our service. There are some COVID measures still in place, however. The wearing of face masks is not mandatory at this time. We look forward to welcoming you to the church. Our Tuesday lunchtime service will be held each Tuesday from 12 noon in our small hall. Our next service will be Tuesday, October 18. All are welcome to attend this afternoon service. Our guild will be meeting on the same day from 7:30 PM till 9:30 PM. The guest speaker is Tom Ferguson and the topic is Favourite Hymns. We would like to extend a warm invitation. Kirkintilloch Church of God. On Sunday in the Regent Hall, Regent Street, there will be a family praise service at 4 PM. This features our praise band, video presentations, and guest speaker Fergus Riley from Barhead. Refreshments will be served after the service. We look forward to welcoming all who are able to come along this Sunday. Every Wednesday, our coffee corner is open from noon to 2 p.m. for home baking and coffee. Join our friends and neighbours for a chat over coffee. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.recenthall.org. The Bible says, "I've set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life." Deuteronomy 30, verse 19. Lenzie Union Parish Church. Sunday worship on October the 16th is at 11 a.m, led by the Reverend Dan Carmichael. There is tea and coffee in the new hall after the service. Young people are also welcome to Lighthouse and Bible class. A live stream of the service is available on YouTube via our website. The Meeting Place Coffee Shop is open on Wednesdays 10 a.m. till 12 noon in the new hall. Meet your friends and enjoy a chat over a cup of tea or coffee. Everyone, from the very young to the young at heart, is welcome to attend. We also have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. The Coffee Pot is open on Fridays 10 a.m. till 12 noon in the new hall for teas, coffee and chat. Dancercise is on Monday, October the 17th, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. in the old hall. A chance to keep fit to music, designed for seniors. Please bring a bottle of water and perhaps an energy bar if needed. The Guild meets on Monday, October the 17th at 7:30 p.m. in the new hall, when David McClennance will be coming along to speak about his trip to the Holy Land. Craft Cafe Tuesday, October the 18th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in Dean House. An opportunity to chat and have a cup of tea while keeping minds and hands busy with craftwork. Bring your own craftwork. Springfield Cambridge Church. Morning worship on Sunday, October the 16th will be led by Reverend Gordon Mackenzie at 11 a.m. in the sanctuary. The Sunday school meets in room 2. There is also a creche facility where we will be happy to look after your child, birth to 3 years, in room 2. Morning worship has also been live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church Usage channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk, and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. Tea and coffee are available after the service in the Cameron Hall. Come along and enjoy the fellowship. There will be a vestry hour on Wednesday, October the 12th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for anyone who wishes to speak with the minister. There will be a short weekly service of worship in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, October the 12th from 11:10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. with refreshments afterwards in the Hall of Fellowship. The church fundraising group are hosting a concert with the City of Glasgow Wind Orchestra in the church this Friday, October the 14th at 7:30 p.m. This is a very popular event and is an excellent evening of entertainment. Tickets will be available at the door on the evening of the concert. We're relaunching our successful junior chorus at Springfield Cambridge Church as part of the Springfield Cambridge Festival Chorus, with a taster session on Sunday, October the 23rd, from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Come along and join the fun. Boys and girls aged 7 to 14 are all welcome to come and see what it's like to sing. No audition required and no fee. All music will be provided on the day. Further information from Catherine Taylor, our junior chorus leader. Colston Wellpark Church. A warm welcome to our church service this Sunday at 11 a.m, led by Reverend Leslie Grieve. This will be a harvest Thanksgiving service, with all proceedings going to the Lodging House Mission, and all donations of foodstuff will go to the food bank. Tea and coffee served in the hall after the service. The Colston Art Club will continue this Monday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. New members invited. If interested, contact 07709 584 680. The 200th Boys Brigade has restarted with company and seniors on Fridays at 7 p.m. The Brownies have also restarted and on every Wednesday at 6:30pm. All girls aged from 7 to 10 years invited. The food bank remains open every Monday and Friday from 2pm to 4pm, and all donations of non-perishable food gratefully accepted. Follow our church services on Facebook at Colston Wellpark Parish Church, and if you require further information on our church activities etc., contact Leslie Grieve on 07813 255 052. Kenmure Parish Church. This Sunday morning service will include the dedication of our guild. The service will be led by Reverend Susan Anderson and Jim Wright, and a warm welcome is extended to all to join us in our worship. The wearing of masks will leave to personal choice throughout the sanctuary. The service will be live streamed on YouTube and can be found by searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs. Details of all of our groups that are currently running may be found on our website kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. St Columba's Hillhead Church. Do join us for our Sunday morning service at St Columba's at 10:30am or at Hillhead at 11:30am. Tea, coffee and juice are served after the service at St Columba's and before the service at Hillhead. We'd love to meet you, but if you really can't come to a service in person, you can still connect with us by livestream from St Columba's via www.kirkintillochstcolumbus.org.uk or by searching for St Columba's Hillhead Kirkintilloch on YouTube. We also have a shorter midweek service at St Columba's on Wednesdays at 10am. Busy Bees Carer and Toddler Group is at Hillhead on Wednesdays at 10am, and Little Fishes Carer and Toddlers Group is on Friday at 10am at St Columba's. No pre-registration needed. First Kirkintilloch BB meets on Friday evenings for school-age boys. We also have two groups for children and adults with learning difficulties, Friendship Club and Following Jesus Group. Reverend Philip Wright, Minister, St Columba's Hillhead Church, Oldale Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 3HQ, and 2 Rosebank Avenue, Kirkintilloch, G66 2PR. P. Wright at churchofscotland.org.uk, mobile 07427 623 393. Torrance Parish Church. The morning service, in person, is at 10:30am, conducted by Reverend Stuart Irwin. During the service, the youngsters meet together in creche, junior church and frog. To join the service online, go to www.torranceparishchurch.online.church. The cafe is open every Wednesday at 9am to noon for teas and coffees and delicious home baking. Why not come and taste for yourself? The prayer ministry team will also be available from 10:30 to noon. The Girls' Brigade meet on Wednesday 6:15pm to 8:15pm, P1 to S6, and the Boys' Brigade meet on Thursday 7pm to 9pm, P7 to S6. To find out about regular weekly activities, check the website for what's on at www.tpc.org.uk. Lenzie Old Parish Church. Sunday morning worship is at 11am, conducted by Reverend Lewis McClements. Sunday school for children aged 3 years to primary 7 and focus for young people. A creche is available for children under 3. Time Out, a friendly and welcoming group for ladies of all ages, meet in the church hall on Monday, October the 17th at 7:45pm. Thursday Club meets on Thursday, October the 20th at 2pm in the church hall. Enjoy tea and coffee and home baking, followed by a game of Scrabble, Dominoes, Rummikub or Uno. All welcome. Scottish Country Dancing is on Thursdays at 7:30pm in the church hall. A gentle form of exercise for body and mind. Wednesday the 12th of October 2022. District News. General. Benefits. Find out what you are entitled to. Families and friends have a crucial role to play in ensuring Scotland's social security payments reach those who need them most. On a visit to a Citizens Advice Bureau, as part of Challenge Poverty Week, Social Security Minister Ben McPherson said talking about benefits would help drive take-up and reduce stigma about accessing benefits. The Scottish Government urges people to make sure they get the benefits they are entitled to. These payments provide support to people on low incomes, people with disabilities, carers, and young people entering the workplace. During the visit to the Citizens Advice Bureau in Muir House, Edinburgh, Mr McPherson met staff and volunteers who provide information and advice about available financial assistance and wider support. Minister for Social Security, Ben McPherson said, "We are urging as many people as possible to talk to family, friends, and other people they know to encourage them to apply for benefits they may be entitled to. We want people to get any support that they are eligible for. We know that word of mouth helps to raise awareness of social security payments and those provided by the UK Government, which may be needed to access Scottish benefits. We also want anyone who thinks they might be eligible for payments to check what's available to them. While several of our payments are designed for people on low incomes, there are also others which provide support to disabled people, young people starting their careers after a period of unemployment, and carers, including young carers. Social security is a shared investment in people and supports building a fairer, more equal society. The current cost of living crisis shows that any of us could need a support at some point in our lives. That is why it is right that we invest in social security together. The Scottish Government is grateful for the impactful role that Citizens Advice advisors play in promoting and supporting access to social security. Citizens Advice Edinburgh Chief Executive Benjamin Napier said, "The Citizens Advice Network in Scotland encourages everyone to check that they are receiving the income they are entitled to." Society of Antiquaries. The first Kirkintilloch and District Antiquaries meeting of the 2022-23 season on Thursday, October the 6th, heard a talk on some early born Baldernock residents by Professor Niall Logan. Despite a downpour of biblical proportions, over 30 members turned out and enjoyed a stimulating talk. Niall is a retired professor of bacteriology at Glasgow Caledonian University and long-time resident of Baldernock. He has always been very interested in archaeology and local history, and was co-founder of the Baldernock Local History Group. He has made a speciality of researching and deciphering the wills of local residents, and combining this with information from parish records of baptisms and land charters to build a picture of the lives of the inhabitants. The talk focused on the 16th and 17th centuries and featured the lives of several local families, including Grahams, Bullocks, Ferguses and Colquhouns. The area was a farming community with flax grown for the production of linen, and included several mills, particularly Fletcher Mill, owned by the Bullocks. Balmore is mentioned in a number of documents and, at this time, consisted of two settlements, Meikle Balmore and Little Balmore. The documents show that the population was involved in trade with major cities such as Edinburgh, Glasgow and Stirling, so Baldernock was not an isolated community, and its inhabitants were fully involved in the life of the nation. Don Martin gave a vote of thanks and said how the detailed work undertaken by Niall had revealed a huge amount of information on the lives of the inhabitants in the past centuries. New dog carers needed. Dogs Trust, West Calder, is currently seeking new foster carers across the whole of the Lothians and Scottish borders. Join the team for their latest Thank Dog It's Fostering Friday event at the Puffin in North Berwick on Friday, October the 28th, between 1:30pm and 3pm. For more information or to register your interest in fostering a dog, please email hfhwestcalder@dogstrust.org.uk. All will be made very welcome. World Gaming Charity Day. Scottish charity Spina Bifida Hydrocephalus Scotland, SPH Scotland, is calling on gamers to take part in the first ever World Gaming Day on Saturday, October the 22nd. The charity event is for gamers and streamers to come together to game for good. Open not only to Mario Kart racers, Guitar Heroes and Ultimate Dance superstars, also first time players and new gamers. It's free and there's no minimum sponsorship required. Get involved by hosting a gaming party or by holding a tournament with family and friends. For streamers, a gaming marathon or a 24-hour stream is an ideal activity. To find out more, please visit givepenny.com.
Public notices. East Dunbartonshire Council public notices. Members' surgeries. Councillors' arrangements for interviewing residents. Ward 5, Bishopbriggs South, Gordon Low. October 15th, 2022. Bishopbriggs Library and Community Hub, 11:15 a.m. to 12 noon. 15th of October, 2022. Auchnairn CE Centre, 12:30 p.m. to 1:15 p.m. Ward 7, Kirkintilloch East and North and Twicker. Pamela Marshall. 15th of October, 2022, Kirkintilloch Hub, Room 1, 10 a.m. till 10:45 a.m. 15th of October, 2022, Hillhead Community Centre, Room 2, 11:15 a.m. until 12 noon. 15th of October, 2022, Twicker Healthy Living and Enterprise Centre, 12:15 p.m. till 1 p.m. Between surgeries, counsellors can be contacted at the Members Support Unit on 0300 1234510. That number again is 0300 1234510. MSP supports ban on racing. An article written by Brian Jewell and read by myself, Corey. Strathkelvin and Bearsden MSP Rona Mackay has backed calls for a ban on greyhound racing in Scotland, calling the sport barbaric. There are no active licensed greyhound tracks in Scotland, with no races having taken place at Shawfield since March 2020. Data released by the Greyhound Board of Great Britain regarding Shawfield reports 197 injuries to greyhounds and 15 deaths between 2017 and 2020. There is one unlicensed track at Thornton in Fife, with concerns that the implications for greyhounds could be worse with no vets on site and no obligations to meet the welfare requirements set by industry. Pressure for a ban has been mounting in recent months, with the Dogs Trust, Blue Cross and many others supporting the Scottish SPCA's initial call, while the Scottish Animal Welfare Commission, which advises the government, has already called for a ban on unlicensed tracks. The debate took place in the Scottish Parliament last week, led by Mid-Scotland and Fife MSP Mark Ruskell, with a proposed ban receiving cross-party support. He said, "Greyhound racing is a cruel sport that has no place in a modern Scotland. Even on licensed tracks, the greyhounds are at risk of serious harm, injury and even death. The risks at unlicensed tracks may be even worse, as there is far less oversight and far fewer obligations on the owners." During the debate, Miss Mackay offered her support for a ban, stating, "I am not going to mince my words. Greyhound racing is barbaric. It is the exploitation of beautiful dogs purely to make money, and I absolutely abhor it. Animals are not products or commodities to be used for human entertainment. How anyone can find terrified dogs racing around a track entertaining is beyond me. I hope that we are seeing the beginning of an end for greyhound racing in Scotland. The abuse of these beautiful and gentle dogs must end now. I thank local campaign groups, including one in my constituency, Blue Cross, the Scottish SPCA, Scotland Against Greyhound Exploitation, and the RSPCA, One Kind, the League Against Cruel Sports, and others for their tireless campaigning to stop this barbaric practice. That article written by Brian Yule. Only goal difference off the top. Kirkintilloch Rob Roy moved to within goal difference for the top of the WOSFL Premier Division with a 2-1 win away at Auchinleck Talbot. Talbot had Jamie Ballantyne set off in the first half for a lunge on Keenan Gilday, before the away side went 2 goals up after the break as Dylan Young and Robbie Young struck. Rob Roy were then reduced to 10 men themselves when Colin Granger was shown a second yellow for delaying a free kick, although the referee penalised the wrong man as it had actually been Dean Cairns. Chris Sampson pulled one back from the spot, but Rob Roy held on for the 3 points. Rob Roy boss Stuart Maxwell said, "I think the game had a bit of everything. We knew we were coming down to a good side. They are very formidable and hard to beat at home. I thought we were good in possession, even when it was 11 versus 11, and were the better side. Their keeper, Andy Leichman, as he has done over the years, made a couple of really good saves. We scored a great goal as Dylan Young smashed home a header from a good delivery. And I've asked for a bit more aggression at set plays, and then a brilliantly worked second goal that Robbie Young slots away. And I thought we were well in control at that point. Then we went down to 10 men, which I'm still confused about, and gave away a penalty, but thought we defended brilliantly. It was just a great performance all round. We were very disappointed not to take anything against Cumnock last week. But we were well in the game, and I asked for that character again. So, to go down to one of the most difficult places in this league and produce that performance, I'm extremely pleased. At the end of the table, Petershill went down 11-1 at home to Arthuley. Shelby scored the only goal for the hosts, who were still looking for their first league win of the season. They are at home to Vale of Clyde in the South Challenge Cup on Saturday. Meanwhile, the club has offered its condolences to the family and friends of former player Gavin Stokes, who died in a car crash in Partick on Saturday. Tigers official calls accusations unfair. An article written by Brian Yule. Glasgow Tigers director Peter Facina has hit back at suggestions they deliberately had last month's first leg of the SGB Championship playoff semi-finals against Pole abandoned. The home side were ahead by 4 points when a downpour brought proceedings at Ashfield to a halt after Heat 5. Track work took place before Heat 6, but after Paul Stark fell and with rain still in the air, referee Wayne Jarvis made the decision to call the meeting off. Posts on social media responded to the abandonment with claims Tigers had, in some way, cheated or influenced the referee. Facina said, "It was a massive disappointment for all concerned, but some of the accusations that have been levelled at us are simply unfair. First of all, those saying that we intentionally called the meeting off to get a second leg, or to delay the tie are clearly mistaken. As we finished above Pole, we were within our rights to take the second leg. However, in the interest of moving the competition forward, we agreed to take the first leg. The cut-off date for league fixtures to be completed was August 31st. Had we insisted on taking the second leg, we wouldn't have been racing for over 4 weeks, during which time the weather in Glasgow had been mostly dry. I am not going to dictate to riders that they must ride if they personally feel it's not safe to do so." The sport is dangerous enough without asking riders to ride against their will. Ultimately, it's up to the referee to decide. Whilst I wasn't personally involved in any of the discussions that took place, he obviously felt it wasn't safe to continue. Whether or not we would have got to Heat 15, we'll never know. But I can say it started to heavily rain within an hour of the meeting having been abandoned. At the very least, the spectacle would have been great, with one racing line, little passing, and riders caked in shale. Tigers would lose the rearranged first leg 60-30 in Dorset before a 50-39 defeat in the second leg at Ashfield, which itself was postponed for a day due to more rain. That article written by Brian Yule. Wants to gain new experience. Spanish midfielder Beatriz Paredes Inza is looking forward to a new experience after joining Glasgow City from Villarreal. The 22-year-old, who has also played for Levante, made her City debut as the second-half substitute in the recent 5-0 win over Aberdeen in the Sky Sports Cup. Paredes Inza said, "I'm so glad for the opportunity to play at this club. I'm excited to be part of Glasgow City and I get to gain this new experience in my football career." City have been drawn away to Glasgow Women in the quarter-finals of the Sky Sports Cup. The tie will take place on October 23rd, but before that, City are back in league action this Sunday away to Hamilton Accies. Football Roundup. Rosville handed a debut to new signing Dean Leverage for the visit to Thornywood United in the WOSFL First Division. However, he couldn't help prevent them losing 3-0. In the Fourth Division, Rosville Academy snapped their 5-game losing streak with a 7-4 win away to Glenvale. Rossville women are through to the next round of the SWF League One and Championship Cup as Jackson scored in a 1-0 win away to Steinhouse Muir. The men's teams are both in action in the South Challenge Cup as Rossville host Irvine Victoria on Friday. Academy are at home to Shotts Bon Accord on Saturday, while the women travel to Morton in the SWF Championship on Sunday. West Park United were also victorious in the 4th Division with a 3-0 win at home to St Peters. Stefan Graham opened the scoring after 4 minutes, Connor Irving ensured a 2-0 lead at the first half, and G. Cuddy added a third after a break. West Park are also away to Islington on Saturday. Ashfield ended the 2nd Division League leaders' 100% record with a 1-1 away to Renfrew. Jordan Perret put the visitors 1-0 up at the break, but the home side came back to equalise in the second half. Staying in the 2nd Division, and Glasgow Perthshire made it 2 wins in a row, as they won 1-0 away to Kilsyth Rangers. The Lions' Ruwadze goal after 18 minutes proved enough to separate the sides. Ashfield and Perthshire are also on duty in the South Challenge Cup on Saturday, as the former host Thorndon Athletic and the latter welcoming Kilwinning Rangers.
Thank you for listening to this week's Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, brought to you by Q & Review Print Speaking to the Blind. If you've any feedback, you're welcome to call us on 0141 772 3976. If you enjoyed this recording, feel free to subscribe to our channel.